the information from the werewolves. And we were ending when he got back to the room where you guys were talking about what just happened in the arena. So yeah, Sephoriel walks. Edwig walks back in to the room. Do you remember what
Did he
Caleb?
already return? I don't remember.
Yeah, Caleb, you flew out to see Caleb and yelled at him. Let's say.
Didn't I already return with the information of what had been said?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. So you guys have. It's late in the evening now. Tomorrow at dinner time you have dinner with the mayor. So if there's nothing else you guys want to do tonight, we'll pick up in the morning and we'll see what you guys do for the day.
I think next day will be fine for me.
Yup.
All right.
Off to bed as well.
Yeah, pretty much.
Put you there. Let me get the calendar then set. All right, so it's Monday morning, the first day of spring. Edwig, you know that your clothes should be ready today that you ordered. And this evening you have a dinner with the mayor. What do you guys do today?
I don't know what the rest of the group is planning, so I'm gonna wait for a bit.
I think Elson will just go down and see if his sister is around and ask her if...
Oh, she's sleeping in.
She's sleeping in, okay. Then I'll wait till she's awake. Because I'll need some fine clothes regarding the dinner for tonight.
Alright, because your fine clothes are still at the house. Since you guys did not bring those.
Indeed.
Right. It's not until noon that she gets out of her room.
Okay.
So
I don't know what the rest of you guys do during the morning.
As far as I remember, I haven't explored the the old ruins, I guess you could say, or the old tunnels from the Thieves Guild, right?
No, you've located them, but you haven't been there yet.
Yeah, well, I was planning to do that
Right.
on this day then.
Alright.
After the tournament.
I remembered that I would be going with Zart on that one.
Yeah, you guys can do that in the morning and
Those are
be back.
secretive little secrets.
Seth, I'm gonna say that Edwig is busy till dinner with like final corrections to make sure it fits perfectly to size and stuff in the shop, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Since this is quite a pricey item that you got made, they want to make sure if it fits to perfection and there's no comment you can make on like some imperfections on it. Yeah, Olin, what do you do? Do you go to the tunnels as well?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, you guys get to the docks over here, like the small fisher docks, and you can see a caved-in entrance at the water. You can't really see a way in from where you are. So, what do you do?
Not even a tiny hole that I can fit through, or...
Nope.
Is it
Olin
possible
could
for me
check
to
underwater. That's an ability you have, as you have a druid with you. If he wants to use his wild shape for that.
Not even a small hole where I can see inside.
No.
or
You
a possibility
cannot.
to clear the rubble?
You can try, but roll me a strength check. Sorry.
My strength.
Because you're clearing away big ass rocks.
Not necessarily just investigating if it's possible for me, like not really trying.
Okay, then
like,
roll me an
if I try to remove the
investigation
rocks and it
check.
just crumbles all in, then yeah,
Then roll me an investigation first.
investigation, sure.
It looks pretty solid. You think you can lift some rocks out of the way, but you don't know how like deep the cave-in goes, like how meticulous they were in making sure that these tunnels stay closed. Like, you know, some rocks you can safely lift out of the way, but yeah, you don't know how deep.
Druid with stone shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I basically say like, yeah, I don't think I'll be able to clear that rubble. Like, do you guys have any ideas? Like, how we?
I'm not even gonna start.
What just happened to your voice?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
He's on stream and he wants to make sure he sounds pleasing.
That's my Saturday night voice.
Well, it's Tuesday, so wrong day, buddy.
At least you tried.
Yeah.
It's that. No. I'm not even gonna try to lift or do anything because rocks don't like them.
I can say this, you guys can spend the entire morning investigating, and unless you're gonna use some spells to like dig your way through a lot of rock, this thing is very solidly closed off. Like, very detailed.
Would I have, like, just asking, like, because when we arrived in town, I also explored the town.
Yes.
Would I have found a possible other entrance?
So you were told by the deputy mayor that there were no other entrances?
Yeah, he told me that, but still.
Yes. So you, during your
I know the
investigation,
teacher,
yeah, you have found some like hideaway places where you could see that they like cellars that are not belonging to an actual house, that are there just as looks for like them to hide away, to wait until like the heat clears up, but you have not found anything that actually connects to something else. No.
Okay. Oh, then yeah, then I think it for me basically it's just just asking to Alson and Olin, like, do you guys have an idea how to get through here? Because I have no clue. If I want to investigate it and see if there's a clue to where the Thieves Guild would be.
I look at Olin and I say, you broke a ship yesterday.
Yeah, I could kind of blow up those rocks with the rubbed earth.
You can try. Do you know that the docks you guys are on are busy with like people like loading fish from the boats from the night's catch? So there could be casualties if you go throwing around rocks all willy-nilly with a minor earthquake.
Damn.
In an earthquake, you won't throw rocks; they'll just crumble. So the most
You are on docks on the water. I'm just saying there's a lot of bystanders who could get hurt if you go too crazy.
The most you
Is
create
anyone
is a bit of
stopping
waves.
Olin?
Nope.
No one's stopping Olin?
Nope.
Nope.
Oh boy.
The DM voice of power that comes through Edwig's book is not there. Alright.
I want to get
Perhaps-
inside, so I don't mind.
Perhaps there's a face palming Nurgle on Zart's shoulder.
Alright.
At least it didn't do much damage.
So By the way, how far is the reach of Nurgle's psychic connection to you? I think it's like 100
I
or
don't
something.
think I'm still in contact.
Yeah.
He would have to come find me due to
Yeah.
the distance.
So, you guys, there's a lot of rocks tumbling away at the entrance, only to reveal more rocks behind it. But there's a lot of ships that, like, almost keel over from all the rocks hitting the water and the shaking of, like, you get they shout at you guys from being like, hey, be careful with that.
Sorry.
You
sorry.
should be out on the water catching fish. You shouldn't be here.
It's morning. They fish at night and they bring.
Why
in
do they
their
fish at
reeling.
night? Fish sleep at night.
Yeah,
There's
that's how
one
it
old.
works.
There's one older fisherman who walks up to you. What are you trying to do?
We're trying to get inside the cave because we're curious if there's any clues of the previous inhabitants of it.
Right. I'm gonna tell you this now. This cave entrance was quite long, and they caved in the entire entrance. Like, almost like 500 meters long of just caving.
How far did Olin get with his erupting earth?
20 foot,
Yeah,
Damn it.
Okay,
it would take
guys,
which is like 6 meters.
yeah.
guys, we are gonna stay here 10 days. We need to find out what's in there.
It was pretty cleared out before, like, they took out everything before
And
they
where did
caved
they
it
put
in.
it? Everything that's...
That's the mayor or the deputy mayor should know that. They were in charge of the operation.
God damn it.
It was part of his election promises to get the Thieves Guild out of the way. And he did.
Of course he decided that.
Okay, so... Well, I mean... Tonight we're having dinner with him, so...
Maybe we
Well,
should
then-
ask him then.
You're having dinner with the mayor.
Well,
Like, not the deputy, but the actual mayor.
not only with the mayor, but yeah, it's a full party, so we're invited. So yeah,
Could you ask him something for me?
if we start doing everything people ask of us when we see the mayor, we would be busying him the whole
Depends
evening.
on what it is.
It's just these docks, they need some updating. Like the big docks for the big ships, they're maintained very regularly, but these docks are a bit neglected. Could you ask him to get some extra safety for these docks?
I mean, we could ask, like, we've been here, so we could say, like, it's a hazard, but no promises.
And
It's coming close to a hazard.
and who is it that we should tell him asked this?
All of the fishermen?
Okay, because I know the mayor a little bit, and I think you know him as well. That if he doesn't
Never
have,
met him.
but yeah, I think you know from stories that if he doesn't have any economical, let's say, use for.
Well, we're quite
this-
responsible for feeding a lot of the worker class of the town, so...
Okay, then I have a reason to talk to him. Okay.
I mean, the richer people, they all eat imported foods, but the worker class, they come to us.
Of course. Then we will try to speak to the mayor for you. No worries.
Thank you.
Maybe we shouldn't.
So,
Sart, maybe we shouldn't mention that we are having dinner with the mayor to anyone else, because we will be here all day taking notes who would ask for improvements or anything, and then we will
I
be more
mean,
political
you-
than the
you
mayor
think-
himself.
you'd think he's a
Yeah,
bit
he'll just
more...
roll his eyes like, da.
Actually, not long after the eruption, Nurgle flew off to go to Edwig. To let you know, as he flies into the shop, the orb is back with the group. They don't
not
know
with-
this, as
so not
Nurgle
with
just
Edwig.
flew off to go warn you. Because you told him to come tell you, and he can't really psychically tell them.
He can.
Nurgle, did you
Only if
happen
you
to-
start it.
Did it float particularly close to anyone in particular?
I don't think so. I just saw Orb and I came to get you because you told me to warn you every time.
Do they still need me in the shop, or are they quite... clear on what
They're finishing up some final things. If you would leave now, they say like come back in a couple hours or 1 or 2 hours, and it should be done.
Right, I'll be back, and I sort of hurry out and sort of go towards where Nurgle is and join him towards the rest of the group.
So you guys are talking to Old Man Gary, and by the time Edwig gets back, the orb is gone, since it takes a bit to track over and back.
Right.
So, Edwig, what are you doing here? I thought you were fitting your clothes or anything like that.
He looks slightly in your direction with white eyes, as Nurgle sort of also eyes you, and then he sort of switches back to his own eyesight and is like, Nurgle came knocking. Apparently the scrying orb was with you guys earlier.
Okay.
You hear in your head from Nurgle, it was after they exploded the rocks.
After you exploded what now?
Oh yeah, the rocks and I just
Oh.
went to the cave entrance.
Yeah.
You see the caved-in entrance with a big chunk of it gone, but just a lot more rocks behind it.
I think we might need to stay a little longer to clear all these rocks, Edwig.
They just fell in the water. It's just like it was danger when they were dropping in very aggressively, but now it's fine.
Okay, so I'm quite sure that at some point I said I'm not even going to ask, but now I regret asking. What the fuck is this?
What the fuck is what? The cave entrance.
It's a
Okay.
Oh, that's the old thief's guild
Yeah, didn't
thingy.
I? Oh yeah, you weren't there, right? Oh.
Yeah, right.
That important for any particular reason? Do we need to be in there?
Well,
Was it
Extra
even there?
info.
He was
Extra
outside of the casino, if I'm not mistaken.
extra info.
No, this was in the meeting with the deputy mayor that this was told to you. He was there.
Oh, was with okay. Okay, I.
Just-
We were gathering extra intel regarding. So
the only thing blocking the door is rubble, and there's no black door anywhere asking you ominously what the color of night is or anything the likes of that.
what the hell
I've
are you
been
talking
looking through
about?
Town, haven't found anything, so.
No questions about what's the color of night. Never mind. No magical door. Good to know.
Edwig, what the
So-
hell
so
are
I
you
would not
talking about?
recognize a magical door, like, nope.
I sort of look at Nurgle and I sort of glare at him with squinted eyes, and Nurgle's probably hair sort of stands up straight, and you can sort of see him shake his head.
What
Right.
the hell is going on here, Edwig? What are you asking about the color of the night?
It was a joke about a Assassin's Guild. Don't.
Oh, okay.
There was never any door. It was a big gate in front of it, and they would open up the gate to sail some rowboats through it before it was closed.
I sort of crawl into the tunnel entrance to see.
There's
If I can sort of-
it's like a big ass tunnel that's caved in with just like a part fell out, but it's
Can I jump into the water and see if I can see something below?
You can jump into the water with your normal clothes on and see if you see anything.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, roll me perception with disadvantage. As you see Elson just suddenly jump into the water.
Well, that's useful.
What?
Perception with disadvantage, eh?
Yes. Sometimes I wish.
Do any of you happen to know how deep this cave goes and how far it's caved in?
You see the outline of more rocks.
God damn it.
Do you need... What's he even trying to do?
Hi, guy.
I regret coming out here, to be honest, already.
You see my head pop out of the water and be like, hey guys, there's more rocks down there.
You see, in that position, all I would need to do is do a curatable cone of ice and see what happens and just have your head, like, pop out.
So cruel.
Oh my god.
Very true, but what are you doing in that water anyway?
I was checking if underwater there were any gateways in or anything. Get me out of here. Help me up.
How fast do you want to be helped up?
I'm like reaching a hand. Not
Wouldn't it be
thinking.
faster to ask Ryoko to help you up?
No, because he's gonna teleport him out of the water.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm gonna spend the spell slot and I'm just gonna vortex warp and back onto the docks.
So,
Okay.
Like, I'm not gonna reach out a hand, he's completely wet, like...
oh, Elson, you're dripping wet, reaching out a hand. And then suddenly, make me a con save actually.
Oh my god.
As you do not know this is coming, so you can't like willingly, like you don't know what's
You
happening.
can see that he starts casting something at you, that much is clear, after he asks how far do you want
So,
to go.
okay, he's visually casting something. Do you resist something
No.
like...
No.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
In that case, bam, you're on
So
the docks.
suddenly, you're on the docks.
Oh, guys, here you are. Oh, wait, what?
You're still dripping
Drake.
wet. But you teleported like, just like, whip! And you hear a
Thanks.
comment of some fisher passing by about people being irresponsible with magic.
Really? He helped me
Never.
out of the water? Okay,
Are they happening to wear any hats by any chance? The fishermen.
They're wearing some like knitted caps to keep them warm as they
it's
were
not gonna
out all
work, doesn't
night.
matter anyway. Eastwick ignores them.
I was thinking those hats will be changing color.
No, that's Ran. It's starting to get to noon, so you guys need to have lunch soon.
Well, guys, I'll be heading to the end to have some lunch. Anyone joining? And
Yeah,
maybe change clothes. Also,
I'll head
possibility.
to the inn as well, and then in the afternoon I'll probably try and look for anything like maybe like one around the basements that I found, and secondly around the cave entrance.
Well, that's what you plan to do. As
Yeah.
during lunch, you guys get told to go get fancy clothes by Aelwyn.
But
As
sis,
you guys were specifically told by the invitation that this is a fancy dress.
sis, can't you get them for us? You're better at
I
these.
don't know your sizing.
What, you don't know our sizing? God.
Sart tries to
gone.
sneak away again. Let me check something before. Where did I put her?
This.
Over lunch, Edric seems to be talking to Nurgle in Celestial, and eventually he's like,
The moment Alwyn said you have to wear fancy clothes, you see Zard try and sneak out.
You see Zart trying to sneak away as she grabs him by the collar. You're not going anywhere this time.
I've got to say, I'm impressed.
You do notice that she was already looking out this time as she was saying it, knowing he would try to sneak off again from last time.
Yeah, I'm still impressed that you actually managed to catch him before he sneaked off. Anyway, I've talked to Nurgle as well, and I figured we could change him, or I could change him into a burrowing creature to see if he could dig his way inside of that cave of yours.
Ooh, that would
He's
be.
highly disagreeing with the whole endeavor, but we could.
Oh, that
And you
sounds.
see, Nurgle hisses as I say that.
That's,
Another option would be to turn him into a water animal, like a fish or something, and he hisses even harder now, to have him explore the waters beneath.
also a
Or
possibility.
you could ask the druids to turn into a fish or something and explore the caves.
Exactly. We have Olin turn into a sand slash, and then we catch him in a pokeball, then we throw him out again, and then we command him to dig. Which I'm quite sure is a move or something. I have no idea where I keep getting these weird brain things
Right.
from.
You okay?
You guys get told off by Elwin and says, "We really need to make a good impression during this dinner." Could you
Why?
guys...
Yeah, maybe it's better so we can.
Like Zard is completely like, why do I have to make a good impression? Like I don't care about
The stronger
this.
you get, the more important it is to have a good reputation.
Yeah,
And
she's
this is a
quoting.
very important man, so getting in good with him will be good for
Zart,
you.
don't try even. I know who she's quoting. She's quoting our mother, and I've tried talking our mother out of it, and I never did succeed, so I won't think I'll succeed with her.
He just ignores Ilwin slightly and just holds out his coffee cup, which sort of gets filled again by the invisible servant that's hanging around.
You see that the barman is quite annoyed with like his can of coffee keeps like floating away from him. As he walks back to the table and takes the can again out of the hand of the invisible servant.
You realise that you're still getting paid for that, right? As in,
There are other customers here.
right, but I wanted coffee. And I just smile at him.
Fine.
I'll be down in a jiff. I'll just walk up, see if I can dry me a little bit off, and I'll be back down in 2 seconds.
So yeah, the rest of the
Right, I
afternoon.
completely forgot that I could dry you off. He snickers and just it's there and doesn't do anything.
Jesus.
We're gonna fast forward a little bit so we can get to the dinner. You guys get some fancy clothes. Let me check.
I don't.
No, we don't.
Edwig, you go back to the tailor shop to pick it up. And I assume you join the group to make sure that they look well in what they choose and don't just...
Yeah,
No?
and just to annoy Aelwyn, it will appear like I've just got rather plain robes underneath my armor, like traveling robes.
Yeah. So
clothes?
she keeps urging you to buy stuff as well.
You know.
So, Zard, what are you trying to do and when?
I'm not buying a new freaking piece of fine clothes. I just used my disguise kit to look fancy enough.
That's... So you try to...
Fancy
it's
up
not,
his clothes.
It's not trying with makeup. Like I'm not gonna try and change my face. It's basically like just using my glamored armor, which turns into.
You have glamoured armor. You can literally just change her armor into a tuxedo and get her to shut up.
Yeah, that's one thing, but that's it. That's only the top, right?
No, it's the entire clothing. Like
okay,
it's...
okay, fine. Then I didn't need to bother. I thought
Now I see before me.
Ellen just has
He's
a
doing
great
glamoured armor.
Like, so you're choosing to look broken down the entire time?
It's easy to move in.
No,
Also,
You're choosing to look like a bum. What is wrong with you?
nothing.
Also,
You
There's
really
nothing
have a
wrong
lot to
with-
learn if you try and get stuff out of the streets.
If you try to get information of the streets, my dear sis, you have
Okay,
to
You
wear.
look like you live on the streets.
Fine. So yeah, it's. I'm just gonna fast forward a little bit unless somebody else has one thing they want to do.
Yeah.
I want to say that the plane travel robes are very fine silk.
Mhm.
Do you want to tell them what you got, Seth?
You'll see.
Okay.
Well,
So-
Olin will have to put on his fine clothes over his Mysol Weave armor.
Because he can't take it off.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
Unless you want to curse Olin.
Oh, you
I'm
can-
looking. I'm
You need to
literally
remove
looking
her. So-
at my whole party who's wearing armor, and I'm like, I'm gonna be the only one without armor on this party.
Olin, you need to remove curse to take it off, and then as soon as you put it on, like you get the points back. So like the -2 is only when you're not wearing it. So if you then choose to put it back on, you're back to what it's now. So you could do it, but it would take a remove curse to take it off in the first place.
I don't think.
I'd almost forgotten, Olin, that armor seems to be growing right out of you.
It's a part of him at this point. Also smells like it at this point.
Yeah, at this point, none of you guys in character know yet that this is a cursed set of armor that he's wearing.
But he does know, right?
He knows he cannot take it off.
Okay, yeah, but he doesn't know it's a curse thing, right? Or
I think because he's attuned to it, he learns what its properties are. So he knows it.
okay.
Because a lot of the curse things say that an identified object will not tell you that the curse is there, but as soon as you attune, you learn about it. So he knows, but none of you guys know.
Not
So
like
Olin-
Zard, not like Zard actually questions it because he's also always wearing his armor.
So Olin puts on baggy, fancy clothes over his armor, and it looks kind of okay. It's a bit odd, but it works. Like, this is a town where you could get stuff to make it work still.
I think he just invented SAG.
Alright. So, Zart, what do you make your outfit to look like when it's starting to get time to go?
Probably a yeah, probably tux like something like not really a not an actual penguin suit,
Yeah. Okay.
but just like nice formal wear, like a jacket with a
Shirt.
Good.
yeah, with a shirt beneath it, like nice and fancy. But you do see that he's annoyed looking like that, like.
I'm struggling. To find a certain map. Okay, is it in here? Where did I put that? Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah. All right. So yeah. Elson, what do you look like? Like, this is when you're gathering to leave to go to the.
Yeah, I think I will be with Aelwyn the whole afternoon checking clothes shops for fine clothes. Because I will be
She
the
knows
only
some
one.
shops because she's been around to do some shopping before, so she can drag you off to certain shops.
Yeah.
But what outfit do you end up getting?
I
Like,
think
just summarized.
I think summarized it will be like robes, blue robes with light blue shirts underneath it, something like that.
Olin looks baggy but fancy. any details you want to add to that?
Yeah. He still smells the same.
Yep. Ellen mutters about can't wait to get her own group.
Olin, before we go, would you mind?
What?
You're a bit musky.
Yeah, that's natural.
I've noticed. I sort of start suggesting that I want to do something.
Just don't break my arm.
I start prestoing, hoping that I can get the smell off a bit.
It can cover it up for a bit, but
In that case, I cover it up with the smell of cookies or something the likes of that.
The smell of cookies with underneath it the smell of sweat and everything.
Sweat and mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yes. It's kind of a moldy smell.
Mold cookies! Woohoo!
Fantastic. Ooh. Oh well, not gonna make it any better than that.
alright.
You did your best.
Elvin wears a very fancy blue dress. Edric, what did you end up?
He's just wearing those silken travel robes underneath his armor, and when Ilsin is bothering him, it's like, no, I've got something.
You mean Elwin? I'm not gonna bother you about anything.
Alright. So, you guys make your way to the mayor's office. And what you figure is probably also has his housing connected to it when he's here, since you need to go there for dinner. And at the front, you see Sheila and Aaron waiting on you guys.
Hey!
Yeah, I made sure we're on time this time.
Sheila did.
Yeah, I did. They also look like they're in fancy dress, so you don't stick out, except Edric still a bit.
Nah. Don't mind him.
Wait for it. When they look at me, also with like, what are you wearing? I'm just wait for it.
Okay. And eventually, somebody you guys recognize comes to get you guys.
Oh, here we are.
Again, with pointier ears than that portrait shows.
No problem.
In a while, do I recognize this guy? Probably.
It's the guy that gave you the invitation.
Right.
So you do recognize him.
Yeah. The mayor and deputy mayor are ready for us.
Okay.
I've been asked to escort you to the premises.
Thank you.
So he takes you into the building, and where last time you went to the right to go to the deputy mayor, this time you go up the stairs and you go to the left.
As we are walking up the stairs, the
Yes.
fabric underneath Edwig's armor starts to shift and starts to become almost like liquid. And it starts to sort of drip out of the armor and sort of reforming itself over the armor until he's into a cyan-like toga with white and gold trim that is sort of got this collar underneath as well, and these layered sleeves from underneath the armor, making him stand out like very Romanesque regal dress robe with the militaristic armor. Style just completely changes as they walk up the stairs.
See, sis, I told you it would be fine.
Oh,
Right. Okay. Okay. As you go through a hallway and then through some corners and then eventually you guys arrive. Wait, where is buildings? Why is it not up here? I lost it again. It should be there. Oh, it's in locations, not in buildings. That's why. As you gather, they're not actually there yet. They're with you guys. So Aaron, Heston, Sheila are seated there, and Ori is seated next to the deputy mayor. And it's suggested that you guys take these seats. But if you want, you can go sit somewhere else and be a bit extra.
Surprisingly, it sort of just takes one of the appointed seats.
All right.
Surprisingly, indeed.
Oh, the game was still paused, so you couldn't move yet.
Okay.
Sorry.
So Elsin will go to this seat, and just before.
Okay.
Elvin follows you to go sit down next to you.
And Elsin will, before he's seated, will bow his head to the mayor and the deputy mayor, and then.
Nice to meet all of you. As he rings a small bell and a group of automatons come out with the food and displayed it in front of you. It's very nicely cooked.
Automatons.
Yes. Robots.
Haven't you seen that before? Besides,
Estok.
yeah.
A stock and the enemy. You know that they exist in this world, but it's mostly like only the super rich have them, or governments, or like offices of like. Yeah. It's
Okay.
very expensive to have, but you've heard of them before, yeah. It's like a full-on like multiple course meal. I didn't think about like the specific details of what is made, but if you ask something, it can be done.
Okay then. What are we eating? No, I'm not gonna ask.
I had 2 weeks, but still I didn't think of that to prepare for that question.
Considering we're at port, I'm gonna say something fishy.
There is you are asked if you want meat, fish, or a vegetarian option when those type of meals arrive.
Mr.
You get the choice.
Well, at the moment I'm asked that question, I asked the question back. Where is the fish coming from? Is it locally?
No, this is a fish that can't be found locally.
Okay. Nah, then it doesn't matter.
Right, maybe some introductions to start off with. I am Mayor Vance, the owl man. You know what, let me just show you guys this. Wait, no, that's the wrong thing. Why can't I show it on this sheet? I think I have to change it to another sheet appearance to be able to pull that off. I think I need a tidy sheet for that.
An owl man like that before, or do I have any inclination as to what sort of species they might be?
You have only read of this. Olin, you also know about this. This is a race that originally comes from the Feywild. And there are not many stories of elf folk wandering around on this plane of existence.
Nature or history? I want to check.
You just know that because of your
Okay.
your
Link with the
upbringing.
thing, yeah.
Yeah. Like you don't even need to roll for this.
Okay.
Edwig, you would have read about this, but there's not a lot of information on this race. But yeah.
You can just see him sort of going through his mind, like, I think I've read about Oril somewhere, but I don't know if this person is related. He's like,
He does have wings on his back. They're folded
what
now.
Elkafra like.
They're their own race, but yeah. Right.
Good to meet
I
you,
have been
Mayor
told-
Fans. Fans.
Good to meet you
Fars.
again
What
as
the
well.
hell?
Fans.
Fans? Farce? Fans? What is it now? With all the V's in your story.
Fans,
Random
Fans.
name generators, okay? Blame the name generators. Farce is the bad guy. This is Vans.
Oh,
Two different
okay.
people.
True. Yeah, Farce. Not Van. Okay, Vance. Nice to meet you, Mayor Vance. Oh my god.
What's this Farce? No. Okay. I've been told of the great trouble you went to for me, and how you got us just under the insurance quota. I want to thank you very much for that.
Thank my friends at the other side of the table for finding the last box, so the quota was met.
say it was nice strolling over the bottom of a cove for once. A very different experience.
I can believe that is not something I have experienced either. You see that, like, Oren is just like being like a schoolboy, being like in awe of like being there and like sitting at this table, and it's just like wisely keeping his mouth shut to not get sent off or anything. I assume you may have some questions for me.
Well, we are actually in pursuit of some stuff still. We heard also that, first of all, thanks for the opportunity to come to your nice city. But secondly, we heard that you eradicated the Thieves Guild out of the city some time ago. And at the point of eradicating that, did you leave? We have been to the cove where everything was brought down.
I have heard.
Sorry for that. But we were wondering, are there any records of what you have found in there or anything, so we can follow up the lead to see if we can find the other members of the Thieves Guild in other cities or anything?
Sadly, as part of this effort, it was a effort that built up over time. And by the time we got to the point of finding their entrance, it was already cleared out.
Okay.
Question, do I believe him?
You can roll insight.
You said someone at the table. I'm taking it is the guy that is sitting like.
Can I use my inspiration for it?
That is Aaron, the guy you saved at the
He
lighthouse.
was like really nervous about sitting at this table, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He is just like in awe that he actually gets to meet him.
Can I use my inspiration for it to have it?
You can. Any D20 roll, you can.
Okay. Can I, while the dinner and while he's just nervously sort of staring at the surroundings, I sort of want to clean my mouth with a piece of tablecloth. And as I do, I'm gonna use a vocal component of thaumaturgy and make a fart sound come from this guy at the other side of the table.
Right.
Before
I feel like making him even more ashamed of being there.
I want to see if I can spot that you do that or not. So
roll me. What? Let me check real quick. It's a
still?
verbal component.
Purely verbal, so I'm just whispering into my tablecloth as I'm cleaning my mouth.
Roll me. I want to have you roll something to see how well you can cover up what you're saying, but I don't know quite what to roll for that. I guess stealth.
yeah.
but that's
very
Dex.
weird
So
stealth
I'm gonna
Stealth or
say
performance?
I'm gonna say it's. You know what? Performance works. Yes. I was gonna say stealth with charisma, so if he has proficiency in stealth, it would have helped. But performance works. Yes.
Probably gonna hurt.
All right.
Yep, natural one.
Vance just looks over and says, "Don't, please don't embarrass our guest."
I'm sorry, the opportunity was a bit too
I too enjoy a good prank now and then, but like Aaron is just like having a breakdown because he did not notice because he's so like panicked he didn't connect the dots. Like he's like, I'm so sorry. It's okay.
It was me, don't worry.
Okay. Now,
I think
Zart, for your question, for your insight, you get the feeling that there is a bit more that he knows about it being cleared out, but that like you believe that it was cleared out, but it seems like he knew a bit more about that than he just said. Right, as I was saying, it got cleared out before we arrived there.
So as he says that, I basically say like, that's weird. Like, the Thieves Guild that I know, and they always leave something, especially in their stronghold.
Well, the problem was they disguised themselves as the town's guard to be able to take everything out and act without anybody looking weird.
Still, but usually they have signs on the wall or markings, like just to give new people the who are trainees, I guess you could say, that they know the layout of the tunnel systems, or otherwise they definitely get lost. So it would be
wasn't really a
that
tunnel
can't be
system as a.
removed. So
It wasn't really a tunnel system, as it was a big cave.
So no side tunnels, only the one
No.
big cave.
It was just one big cave opening.
Okay.
The thing was that the tunnel entrance, you went through there with a ship, and then you hit a dead end, and you had to dive underneath there to get in there. So, if there were reports earlier of trying to investigate that area, nothing was usually found, as they did not know
to dive. Yeah. Okay.
still, if you found it and you knew you had to dive, then you would have found something at the other end.
They didn't know you had to dive, so
Yeah, but he just said that you had to dive.
yeah, they found that out when they cleared it out.
But before it, earlier before Mayor Vance was in charge of it, I think they also checked out the cove, but they didn't know how to dive. Didn't know how. Maybe they didn't know how.
Or where.
Or where to dive to find the entrance then. So.
Yes, the dive entrance wasn't at the total back of the cave entrance that you guys saw that was imploded. Was quite long and had some corners, and you had to know where to dive to find the entrance. There was one marking there, as you ask, but it was quite well hidden, and it resembled an arrow, but well blended.
It's absolutely certain that there was no other entrance into this particular cave.
We left an item behind there, a scrying focus, you might say. Once a month, we have one of the city mages scry into the location, just to make sure that there is no new activity there.
Like as with that, you basically see like Zard get a little bit angry, like again hitting a dead end, that not knowing where they could have gone besides Eglolos. Like that was his lead. Like there was a Thieves Guild here, the only other town that he knew that they were in now. and no clue, nothing. Is like, God damn it.
Anything else I can help you with?
Well, before we then start this lovely, lovely meal, there is still one thing, because we caused some...
You've had like your entree already
Yeah.
during this conversation.
Still saying the same thing.
Also, small extra detail that's not on this map. On multiple like these empty points, there are like armor sets spread out like that, but I forgot to add them to the map.
I still have to ask two things. One thing is, because we made a little bit of fuss at the cave entrance.
Yes.
Some of the fishermen asked us to relay a message. I know it's political, so sorry about that. But if you could see to it that the docks of the fishermen are also a little bit more looked after, let's say, because they are actually scared that one of the docks might collapse at some point.
That would be at quite inconvenience. Most of our worker population is actually fed by those
That was
fishers.
exactly what he said as well. So
I'll he writes on a piece of paper and he throws it up in the air and it just disappears.
And then the second thing I need to ask you, and I'm gonna be very blunt about this.
Go ahead.
We have
You've
met.
earned that right.
We have met. Well, I have met you before, of course, on the road to
Yes.
Eglalas. But my question is, in some capacity, have you been checking in on me or not?
During this mission, I had some of the city mages check on you once or twice. But before that, no, I have not.
Okay. Thanks for the info. And I stare at Edwig.
Right. Would one of those times have been this morning particularly, and another time, and I mentioned the last time at the lighthouse?
It would not surprise me that there would be a scrying at the location of a minor earthquake by the city mages. No, that would not surprise me if it was them that you're speaking of.
Right, and there's only 3, you say?
3 what?
City mages.
I never said that. I just said there were city mages.
Earlier you mentioned 3 of them.
Did I? Like, GM question, did I? I don't recall saying that.
Neither
I think you said a couple, but you didn't specify.
Yeah.
I don't. I was looking at the tutorial as well. I was like, where did he hear 3? I don't know anymore.
We have a 10, between 10 and 20 city mages. And some trainees, of course, but they're not on that level. If they did, I should know in this evening's report, but that is being delayed for this dinner.
Okay.
Right.
And yeah, something that's come to mind now. We've talked to your deputy as well regarding this, but
I've been informed of that conversation. Yes.
Of the lighthouse, that there might be some new family needed to continue the workings of the lighthouse, and this might be a major advantage for the city if that's controlled by the city. You
guys did tell them about the water elemental, right?
Yeah. We did.
So, yes, we are looking into our city mage trainees to see if any among them could be trained to pick up that and move there. As they're already then trained for magic use, it's easier to train a mage to learn the tricks of a lighthouse than train a standard lighthouse attendee to know how to handle magic properly. We are looking into that, yes.
Okay, superb.
Speaking of looking into people, I've been informed that your sister has been entered into the adventuring guild, looking to start her own adventure.
That is correct.
Now, I've pulled some strings, used some of my connections, as he points to Ori, to have Ori, one of the sharpest trainees for the city guard city guard, and then the elite part that specifically works for the mayor and deputy mayor. He has been pulled from that program to enter the adventuring guild alongside your sister to function also as a bodyguard for her.
Thank you, Mayor Vance.
You hear some murmuring from Elwyn, but she doesn't want to make a scene.
The moment I hear murmuring, I'm just like jogging my elbow into her, and I'm like, "Thank you, Mayor Vance. That's
I protect myself."
I asked him this.
He was selected because he was the brightest in the class, and you've done me a great service, and also because he wanted to become an adventurer as well, and there's not many of those around in this town.
It's a very nice thing to do, Mayor Vance.
So it's also interest in the entrance of the town to have some representative of our town out there in the guild.
Of course. Well, because I heard that the adventuring guild here in Sandpoint has been, let's say, not as active as the rest of the cities.
No, it hasn't. We, knowing, of course, that the esteemed Estocs are quite well known for their protective capabilities, we have chosen to transform the bar that used to be there into the casino, so that it would have... It's way stronger than any bouncer or bodyguard we could have put there. And since it was not very active, this benefited us both, as this also meant that he could stay open and operating in this town for the very occasional requests that get made here.
Okay.
Most people here choose to hire directly if they need any work done.
Okay.
As he says that, like you basically like hear Zard like as he's eating. Oh, so like you, Alson, and he continues eating.
Yes, but because I know he was a member of the guild, I chose to do it through the guild. So it would be sanctioned by them as well.
Thank you, Zard. Okay. Yeah, for me, I think I just have one question left, and it's to our friends to my right here. Everything okay with you guys?
I'm just honored to be here. Sheila, I will say, I have met the mayor a couple of times, but it was usually very brisk and to the point. So
yeah, but
this is quite nice just to be present.
I was referring to everything that happened. Everything is okay with you guys and with the ships and everything.
The Iron's ship is almost repaired.
Okay.
We are just taking up some vacation days.
Do you give them vacation days? Oh my god, I should
Of
come working
course.
for you.
I treat my crew very well. As they're a crew that handles precious cargo on the regular, it's better to have them well taken care of, so they're to prevent any talk of mutiny.
Spice?
Hmm?
Spice?
What did you say?
You said precious cargo and I ask Spice?
Not that I know, but there are some packages that we are hired to sell to move without knowing the precise cargo, so it's a possibility sometimes, yes.
It
All drugs!
Drugs.
Oh, McLeod.
It it was a honor.
He's good.
It was a honor to do this for you, and if you need ever anything, you just can ask, no problems.
Likewise. There will always be a ship of my fleet ready for you if you need a ship.
Thank you. And as long as we're in the city, you can scry on us the way you have done before, no problem. But
I did not agree to that.
Edwig, this is
It was
political.
mainly to make sure that the mission was going as planned and that we did not need to send a secondary team to...
Well, it is a bit invasive.
Yes, we only do it when it's necessary.
Okay.
Usually it's part of the contract, but that might have been overlooked since we went through the guild and not our usual ways. I'm sorry for that.
No problem.
Anyone else have questions?
Yes, is there any bourbon left?
As you say that, a new an automaton comes out through the door with an entire bottle of bourbon.
Thank you.
As he stays behind you, like stationed there now.
Yeah, Nurgle just sits staring at Edwig and shaking his head.
Alright.
Okay.
Any more questions for the mayor, you guys? Alright. You have some dinner, and eventually the room gets cleared to be a bit more cozy as the table and chairs are moved out of the way, and some couches are put by the fire. Aaron and Sheila excuse themselves as they say that they have some plans early in the morning and they are heading to bed. So they excuse themselves. So it's now just
the moment Sheila, I think Elsin will be more at the door, and the moment they pass, I would just really quietly say to Sheila, "Yeah, or this night, right?"
He gives you a wink.
He
Right.
just shakes his head from a small distance.
Ori will speak up. Elwyn, I've been told that we have travel early in the morning to Eglalos to meet up with the rest of our adventuring party.
That's a nice way to hear about it.
I was informed that you were informed about it. I'm very sorry.
No problem about you, Ori. I thought my
As
sister
you
would have
said
already told me that.
I told you it was tomorrow. I did not know the exact time yet.
Off to bed, you.
We're set to leave at sunrise.
Yeah.
So, do you tell your sister to go to bed?
Yeah.
All right. So, she begrudgingly leaves, and Ori as well. So now it's just you guys, the mayor and the deputy mayor, by the couch, by the fire, having some drinks still. And you see that the mayor's like pose is like a lot more relaxed now. That now like none of his workforce are still there, and like a bit less of like I have to keep up appearances.
Also, the moment, God damn it,
Elwin.
The moment Elwin leaves, you basically see my armor just transform back to my armor.
Interesting. What enchantment is used for this?
I know, it came with the armor.
That's very interesting. I've
Yes,
seen
that's
some
glamour around
clothes with that woven into, but armor not as often.
Now that you mention it, Zart, and the fabric around Edwig's armor as well starts to shift and turns into something more comfortable as well.
You all seem full of surprises.
Yeah, they are.
Right.
I'm not as fancy as they are.
I have one more.
You say I'm not as fancy as they are, and you see basically me sitting in my armor, like back like I live on the streets. Like, yeah, sure. Call this
Say
fancy.
in Belgium, like a clochard,
Yeah.
like a bump.
Vance will speak up and say, I have one more gift prepared for you.
Okay.
Tomorrow, I have arranged for a training session for each one of you with our city's best and brightest. Ilsen, for you, you and Ori will have a archery training session with our master archer here in town.
Wait, tomorrow
Edwig.
morning, but Ori will be gone.
Right, I should inform them that Ori won't be there. That's a good point. As he can write something down, throws it in the air as it disappears. Edwig, for you, I have arranged a training session with our mages. Olin, for you, we don't have any druids in town, but we have some herbalists and people who know a lot about nature. So I have a training session with them for you. And for you, Zart, I have a training session with the captain of the city guard. Specifically the covert operations part of the city guard.
Okay. Thank
Out
you
of
for
character,
Teaching.
with this extra training you will get. After tomorrow, you will get to level 6. As you were getting close to that power level, but this training will get you just over the top, let's say, to get to level 6.
I'm teaching them, right? Edwig asks.
Yeah.
No,
I was
not
actually
to
thinking the
discredit your
same.
training, but we have a very well skilled leader of our mages who I believe has still quite a bit of class above you.
I was actually thinking the same thing, like, is Edwig gonna teach them or are they gonna teach Edwig, and with all in the same?
I was wondering exactly the same thing. It was like, wait, what? We have to teach?
No,
They have to know very specific stuff.
they do. But yeah, that will be for the next time.
Okay.
Right. Anything else you guys want? If you guys want to leave, you can leave. If you want to stay and have some more drinks, you can. So you're free.
How is life treating you up till now?
Very busy.
Yeah, I presumed so much.
But I love being able to come back here for spring and summer. During the winter, I stay at my other places since it's best to divert my time between the different places I operate out of.
Oh.
Do you
But usually
call it?
during spring and summer, I operate from here.
Do you call it the other place as well?
Well, I call this my summer place and that my winter place, but I don't call it the other place. Why do you ask?
Because
Well,
we...
certain people have an affinity to call places the other thing.
Never
One
heard
manor
of
is
that.
the other manor.
Interesting.
We are trying to start a trend.
With the other party.
I've heard you guys are from Stonewood, correct?
That is correct.
You operate there now? How's it going there? It's been a while since I've heard from there.
It's going as good as it can, let's say.
Just a minor werewolf infestation.
Yeah, speaking
werewolf.
of, we have to make sure to be back in town on time to deal with said
Oh yeah.
menace.
True that.
You have enough time for that. It's the so that's the 8th of April that you need to be there, and in universe it's now currently the 20th of March. So you still have time to get there all.
We have 2 more weeks.
Basically.
Oh, sorry. 3 more weeks.
Werewolf problem? Could you spare me some more detail on this? Is it something that there's at risk of spreading?
No, I don't think so. I think it has spread it in history already long enough. So we are at this point trying to...
We have a werewolf champion of the arena. Maybe we should find a way to contact him to give you guys some pointers.
I think you mean the good Sir Caleb?
Yes.
He's the one who informed us about a incoming bit of trouble.
Okay. I must say, I saw your fight yesterday. I was quite impressed.
Well, I wasn't on my best yesterday, so...
Still, you outclassed many of the fighters we have seen come through this town. Well, at your point of experience, of course.
Thank you for the kind words, but still, I'm not happy with my performance yesterday. If this would have happened during a fight with a true enemy, I think... Well, of course we are with 4 then against 1, but
Yes.
still...
You are used to fighting as a group. Your abilities are supposed to complement each other. So it's only logical that the performance was less than how you usually perform, as you're now facing each other instead of facing stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this conversation can go as long on as you guys want. It's up to you guys, by the way.
It was a lovely evening, but I should also head to bed. The rest of you, well, can of course decide for yourselves. Good night, Mr. Mayor.
It was nice meeting you.
Likewise. Either
You
will take
what? As you leave, you do get on the way out a note with directions to where to be tomorrow and by what time. It's not at sunrise, so it's not like boot camp type drill. It's not as brutal.
Eve will make his way to the inn.
Right.
Good
Does
night, Ivuk.
Nurgle stay behind, or does he come with you?
Whoever comes with.
All right.
I think Elsin will still try to make some small talk and continue drinking with the mayor.
I'd probably stay behind as well and just like commenting on the fact that his guards know Steve's can't, and that he's curious about that. On why did they
Yes.
teach it? Because it's not easy to write in Thieves' Cant.
During our investigations, when we were hunting the Thieves Guild, we were quite annoyed by that. And we realized that if it was so hard for us to track it down when they were using it, it must be very handy for us to use it to make sure confidential parts of an investigation stay confidential to a passerby.
I mean,
With the point of
sure.
there's not being a Thieves
Like
Guild in this
as he
town.
says that, I'm like, sure, but like like you want to keep the information hidden for the people who probably know Steve's cat. So it's like it's a weird logic for
I
Zark to be like,
understand that, but this is more to keep it out of the way from nosy, how might we say, people of position. We have a lot of rich people coming in this town who try to get every bit of information that they can to maybe abuse for political gain. And if we use common, it's also possible for those thieves, those criminals to read it. But this way, it's a bit safer from political spying.
oh, okay. Like still, it had to take quite a bit of time to teach your guards all that. Like it's not an easy language to master.
Yes, but it has been very useful.
And how long have you been mayor from this town?
I gave you guys a number last time, but I do not remember it top of my head.
I can't remember it either, that's why I ask.
Anyone have it in their notes?
Hang on, I'm gonna check if I have it in my...
I think I said something like 20 years, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah,
Because Edith made a comment about dictatorship or like Putin when I said that.
Yeah, I think it was 20 years, but I don't have it either.
20 years. I've been re-elected 4 times. It's almost ready for the 5th, for the next coming election. We have an election every 5 years, so.
Okay, and if you and if you don't mind me asking, of course, but like, who was in charge of the Thieves Guild here when you were eradicating it, or do you have no clue?
It was a Minotaur, I believe. I don't remember his name right away. He looks
How
at
long ago was
Titus.
that?
Well, I ran on that as part of my election promise, so it took us 2 years to get rid of them fully. So it's about 18 years ago now.
Okay, so they asked if him still being alive or
He was trialed and executed.
oh. Great.
His name was Duron.
Okay. Minotaur. Okay.
And like, I don't know if you remember it, but like it's like, I'm just curious on how the Thieves Guild operated besides the one in Eglolas. Like, did they have these kinds of rings? And I basically show him one of the rings that I have.
Any significant importance to those rings, or were they just for signaling to each other? their alliance?
In Eglos, it was used to know who were the legitimate members, I guess you could say, from the Thieves Guild, because they had quite a bit of people, like grunts under them, that they didn't feel that were members from the Thieves Guild, but were more like useful to the Thieves Guild, if you get what I mean.
Are you trying to insinuate slaves?
Sure, if you want to call it that.
Right. Here the guild used a type of necklace similar to military dog tags. They were, however, enchanted, which made it very hard to track down somebody and still get them to talk.
Same with the rings.
Oh, so similar to the rings, gotcha.
Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Yes, it made it very difficult to knock somebody unconscious and them not die for some reason. We were told it had an enchantment that made it so if they were made unconscious, they would instantly die. It was quite difficult to deal with, but we managed.
Fully understand it because the rings had the same thing.
Properties, yeah.
But yeah.
It is like the rings, from what you know, were a lot more hardcore, where it couldn't even be removed and stuff like that, which is not something he says. So you
Yeah,
get
but
the idea
like
that
the gist
they-
of the enchantment is similar. so-
yeah, you get the idea that this may be like a earlier iteration of the enchantment that's now used, like they improved upon
Considering
it.
it's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like for Zard, it's just useful information because now he feels even more that the different thieves guilds across the country are actually led by Vars.
Yeah.
Knowing that Vars is ancient, yeah.
At a certain point, Titus excuses himself. As he makes a joke to the mayor, somebody has to go read the report of today. And leaves the room.
like anybody else would.
Well, the mayor himself was supposed to, but yeah, he's making a joke about it. You can see that they have quite a close relationship. That that is okay to do to each other. Like,
I hope to see you around, Titus.
Likewise. So yeah, now you're with 4 left there.
Guys, I think we have a training in the morning.
By the reception, you will be handed a note with location and time where you need to be.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm probably off to bed as well. Like, what time is it now?
Well, I'd say it's around like 10 p.m. at this point.
Okay. I probably, well, what time would I arrive at the inn then?
And 15 minutes later.
Okay. Because before going to bed, I'll probably check on the horses as well.
That's at the inn as well, so.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I leave, take the note, then go to the inn. Before entering the inn, just check on the horses, see if they're fine and happy.
Right, then there were 3.
Yeah, time for bed for me as well.
Alright.
I'll be in a jiff.
Alright. Yeah, Olin, you two get handed a note with where to be. Alright.
Yep.
Now it's just the two of you. I assume there's some more reminiscent of your first trip together.
Yeah, something like that, and just saying if he ever needs anything, he can, just like he did now, contact me, and if he can do it through the guild, that's the best way to go.
You do also get a comment that he was quite impressed with how good you guys functioned as a group to complete this current mission, and that he will not hesitate to hire you again if there's a need for that.
Then I think after, let's say, half an hour or maybe a quarter to an hour, I'll leave as well. So yeah, and go to the inn.
All right. So yeah, you guys, the horses are totally fine. You guys go to bed, have a very good night, and the next day you spend the entire day being trained. And you notice that it's more like fine-tuning the techniques you already know. That, like, you know that, like, scene in How to Train Your Dragon when, like, she rubs on, like, Toothless's neck and suddenly, like, his back flap, like, things flap open. It's a bit like that, like a training session of like, hey, there's a lot more power in that spell, in that ability, if you slightly adjust the way you use it. That is not how it's conventionally taught. Like, those things that you can only learn with experience and not from books type of training. All right, and with that, all you guys get a level up.
Woohoo.
as you meet up Tuesday evening at the inn again after a hard day of training.
Wee.
Yay.
Do we have to do the level up now, or
You can do that after the session. It's only half an hour, and I doubt we'll be seeing combat. And I didn't let you guys know beforehand to have it ready, so
Okay.
just put it on D&D Beyond ready and send me the link.
Will do.
The items and currency don't need to be in order, just your like class abilities, and then I can just import only that.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't. No, I did. Okay.
Wee.
All right. So, with the case of Olin, for you it was a mix of being taught some parts about nature that were different than what was taught to you in your village, and that allows you to tap into that nature for your magic even more. And then also from your knowledge, you are also able to notice that like the second part, they are just hanging on to you. Like throughout the day, it slowly switched over to you training them because you're an actual druid. Like you're way more in tune with nature. They just have years of experience being passed on. So with you, it was a bit of a switch. With the others, not really, as they were very well versed in what they know. Hedwig already sending me what he's done for his level up.
Well, duh. We know Edwick like that. Very eager.
Alright.
There's just one spell that I'll have to put in manually.
Alright. No problem. So yeah.
Sorry.
This evening you guys meet back up at the inn. Tired of a day of training. Your sister left in the morning. You said your goodbyes then as they headed to Eklalas.
I think, like, for the coming week, you'll notice on a spare moment that Ilsin is checking his badge to see what it's saying. Just to notice if anything changes regarding the status of his system.
Ilsen, just leave it alone for a bit.
I know, but still, it's scary.
Also, do you guys still wanna burrow yourselves into that potential cave, or are we just going home? Because I think it might be a good idea to at least lay out a plan and perhaps set a trap for this
Yeah, we should probably
Halloween
head home
problem.
again.
Well,
Yeah, it depends on how hard I can abuse Mulder.
I think actually what we got from the mayor is like the information. If they are scrying inside the cave, I think there's not much we can do. Or did you really want some extra info regarding some stuff? Sart.
Like, no, like I was hoping like maybe I'd find some clue to where other hideouts could be. But yeah, if it's caved in and like if they actually searched, chances are that there won't be anything useful left, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not on the shared books or so, Edwig?
For some reason it's not, which is weird.
What is LOK?
Lost
Lost
Laboratory of Qualish.
Yeah, it's possible that the guy that shares the book with me just doesn't have that book. Like, he doesn't have literally all of them, but he has a lot of them. Yeah, that's one of the ones that he does not have. So that's why. All right. Yeah, you guys can leave in the morning. I assume that's preferential to leaving late at night, like getting one more good night of sleeping. Yeah, that works.
Right.
Wait.
So now we are Wednesday, right?
So
Yeah.
let me fix the calendar. So now it's Wednesday. And to show, so you guys have that with the horses, that speed, so it's a bit faster. I thought it was 3 days for 2 days, so it takes you 2.5 days, I think we said last time, to make it back to Stonewood.
Do we catch up to
By the way, when we stop for camping,
They're heading differently to Aglalos, so
Okay.
When we stop for camping, Edwick takes out his book and quill and he starts sort of drawing in the actual air in front of him. He starts drawing a tower. And once he's done with that, he asks everyone to look at it, like from this angle, he says. And when you see sort of the tower drawn in the landscape, when you look at it and you sort of start moving after you've looked at it, it seems to stay in place in the landscape and it's actually there.
So it's a 2-story tower made of stone, wood, or similarly sturdy material. It can be round or square. Each level of the tower is 10 feet tall and has an area of up to 100 square feet. Access between the levels consists of a simple ladder and hatch, and each one of takes the following forms, which you can choose. So there can be bedroom, level, study, dining, lounge, washroom, observatory, and unfurnished room.
So a portable house.
Basically, I brought a tower from this point forward. With an actual proper bedroom in there, with just very simple with beds for everyone, and then just a dining room. And is it 2 floors or is it 3 starting at 3rd level?
So it starts as 2, and every level above 3rd, so 4th or higher, adds an extra story.
Right. Yeah,
So 4th level would be 3 levels.
It's that, and we'll have to stable the horses outside for the time being.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you have
I'll
2 levels, so you can put them on the bottom level if you leave that an emptier room. You have 2 levels, so you can have 1 bedroom level and 1 entrance level where the horses can be.
But that would leave out. Well, we don't necessarily need a kitchen, do we? We have good berries, so yeah.
Yeah.
We can stable them inside.
Just so like they're not out there in the open. I don't know.
Yeah, all in goes, this is not very subtle. And he just goes boop. And you see kind of a shimmer in the air. And then nothing happens.
What did you do?
Half of moonlight and shadow.
Now the tower is very hard to detect from the outside.
Wait, what spell is that you did?
It's at level 6 for Circle of Dreams Druid.
Oh, it's a feature. Okay, let me see that real quick. Heart of Moonlight and Shadow. During a short you can and create an invisible 30 feet sphere that grants. Alright. So, this tower that is 20 feet
Oh.
tall, but didn't it say it was like 100 square feet? So, that's. I don't know if it covers that. Cause
Yeah, the sphere
feet's
covers
being
the
weird.
entire thing. If
Okay.
it's only 20 feet tall, it covers the entire thing.
Okay. So you have this tower, and then an orb of invisibility basically covers the tower.
It's an invisible spell, so
Yep, that is very fancy, you guys.
Ha!
Wow,
Sleeping
inside an
safely.
invisibility dome.
yeah. Well, basically,
I will say the first morning you do that, there is 2 dead birds on the floor next to the tower in the morning.
It's coming.
They flew into the invisible tower.
They flew way too fast.
Sphere. Once they enter the sphere, they would see it, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
at that point, they didn't have enough time left to break.
yeah, basically within the sphere we have a +5 bonus to stealth and perception, and flames can't be seen.
Yeah, it's
So
very nice.
So basically, as I wake up and I go outside, I see the 2 birds. I'm like, ooh, free food.
He starts plucking the birds.
I mean, I'm not a picky eater, so.
Ew.
We find Zart cooking like these little birds over a fire. Baked birds.
Just leaving that. Alright, yeah, the trip is a lot more comfortable than the last few times. With food and water being provided by Olin and a nice place to sleep provided by Sephoriel, Edwig, sorry. And eventually at noon on Saturday, you guys arrive back in Stonewood. Knowing you guys go straight to the house, right? So.
Ish. We might pass by Ursa, tell him to collect his shit and start living with us for the time being.
Yeah.
Alright. Do I have him ready? Where is his... Didn't I have a token for him? Maybe it's in there.
You did.
I don't remember. Wasn't that on roll 20?
Could be.
I think it was on roll 20 because I don't see it right away in here. Yeah, I don't see it right away, but I'll make a token for Ursa.
Ursa? Oh no,
Yes.
wait. Ursa Moonwind, yeah? On the
Yes.
NPCs in Stonewood.
That is like a note. That's not a token I can drag out.
Oh, okay.
Hey, I'm outside at the cart.
That's where you lost placed yourselves on this map. So, Ursa doesn't really question you and just comes along. But what I wanted to say first. So I'm gonna say you go to the house first because. Wait, I don't have a token for him ready yet either. I think. I'm so well prepared today.
Who's broken into our house?
So, you notice that the fireplace is on as you arrive through the windows.
Wait, what?
Wouldn't that be normal considering we have?
They clean and stuff. But yeah.
The fireplace on.
I have.
They don't know if we're coming, right? So.
Yeah, they didn't know you were coming, so it being on is a bit suspicious. I have art for this guy somewhere. I think he's under here. Under you. No, not there. Some things I forget to transfer over, and it's so annoying. From Roll20.
Easy.
Like, where did I put them? I thought I had a token for Timon on Roll20 on Beyond already.
When?
Yeah, what is Elwin doing here? Hi, Elwin. How are you doing?
Goodbye,
Oh,
Elwin.
she's gone. It was an apparition.
Teleportation.
I don't have him ready yet. Well, a halfling is sitting at the fire over here. I thought I had a token for him.
You had one on Roll20.
Yeah. Somebody you recognize, Art. It's your good friend Timon.
Well, yeah, but like we're outside, we see the fireplace burning. Like, do we just enter or be like, yeah, we'll see what happens? Or
I feel like we enter ready for combat, considering that already the place has been broken into before. So.
Alright, let me just bring you guys up here then. So you're seeing fire burning in that room.
Guys, what the hell is going on here?
I grab Olin by the scruff of his neck and we bamf inside using Dimension Door.
Why do you grab the one along that also can teleport?
So,
But
Bit
okay.
late for that now. Sorry. Next time I'll bring Ilsin.
alright. You guys see a halfling in his room. There's like a sleeping bag on the floor with a bag and stuff, and he's just like chilling there. Oh, hi.
Who are you?
Also, do you make it your business breaking into people's homes?
I was not breaking in. I was invited.
By who?
At that point, Zard, you enter and recognize the person they are talking to.
I'm like, Timon,
Hi.
why did you break in?
You invited me.
I asked
You
for
said
information. I didn't expect you to just break in.
You asked for information and then you were gone forever, so I came in through one of the windows and...
Which window did you break?
So no fighting then?
No, he's good. He's good.
Ah,
You
okay.
guys have met...
You guys already met him.
You guys have met me before, just not looking like this.
Oh,
Remember the
bird
raven?
guy.
As you see him shift into a raven looking a bit similar to Sailor that you met, but this guy does have wings and Sailor doesn't. Because Sailor was a Kenku and this guy's a rare raven.
Okay, which window did you break? Which one do we need to
Break
fix?
any, there was
Like,
one...
as
there
Alton
was
said,
one
which window
open
did you
that-
break? You see Zard like, break? Oh, he didn't break anything.
No. I wouldn't be very good at my job if I broke something to get in.
Wait,
It's just as a little-
Zard, you knew that one of the windows was capable of
Every
entering?
window's capable of being opened.
Then
It's
why
like they're
aren't
able
we?
to keel. They're able to keel over a little bit to let in fresh air. But since he can turn into a raven, he can enter through that way.
Still though, I'm gonna have someone look into the security of this window.
Yeah.
Not only that, like for
Oh,
me probably
right.
Simon
there-
would probably have taught me most of the picklocking techniques that I have. So
Right, a bird arrived, a owl, with a letter for you. He was very adamant of not letting me touch it, so I think he's still in your room with the letter, protecting it from me.
In the tower. Ludwig starts walking out.
So yeah, Engelbrecht's owl is there sleeping on top of a letter on your desk.
I know he had a name, I just
I don't remember it right away either.
suddenly forgot, which is not great, but there we go.
Right.
Yes, I'll take the letter and leave the owl asleep.
It's your usual correspondence, but there is one extra note that's a bit out of the usual. You still notice the PTSD type writing of Engelbrecht that like he changed since that fight, since that explosion and stuff. But he mentioned being able to access spells and magic that are not even in his spell book. And that happens when he uses his arm as a focus. And how it seems that his arm has some untapped magical potential.
Odd question, but does any of the wording suggest that it's kind of mechanical? The magic.
It's using his arm as a focus. That's what you know. And through his arm he can cast that. Nothing you know as a character comes near that. Like, there's nothing on record about such things. You as a player may know what I'm hinting at, but as a character you don't know.
Thinking either Clockwork Soul or
He's a wizard like you, so
Tinkerer, but I'm not entirely sure. Like Artificer, multi-class thingy.
Okay.
Not when speaking technically, I mean,
Yeah.
player like.
It
No, but
does
we
sound
will-
like, from what he says, it's still wizard magic. It's just like he has access to spells that aren't in his book as a wizard. Which is
That
quite
is news to
interesting.
Ludwig. He will invite him, however, to come over and stay at the other manor for a while if he feels like it.
Right?
He will, however, mention that the next full moon that we're expecting trouble. So if he feels like coming beforehand, he's most welcome. But he might have to help us deal with potential werewolves. If he's coming past that moon, then he's welcome after, as well.
Okay. With that, his owl flies off with that letter. Now to the conversation happening here with Timon. Right, Sarge. They're back.
what do you
The
mean
guild.
back?
The guild. They're back.
The
They're
Negdalos?
Yes, they're operating again.
That's not good.
It was a slow build-up, but they're basically in full force again. But it seems they're not using as many street people like they did before, like people like you.
Okay.
It's like more like they're fewer people with stronger skills, but like quality over quantity. While last leader ran it quantity
Yeah,
Quantity
quantity
over.
over quality. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so they changed that with this new leader. So there's lesser people, but more skilled people instead of as many people as they could use.
Do you have any idea if Nox is actually in town then, or is he?
I mean, I assume so. It's a bit hard to find a guy that can shapeshift, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I know you.
I'm trying. I I have some people I've been following, and I think I'm close to figuring out where their entrance is. Where their
Okay,
hideout is.
that's actually very useful. Also, have you seen them with like a ring or necklace or something of the kind, like with under Ezekiel, or?
They're not wearing those rings anymore. No.
No necklaces or anything?
I mean, they might have been wearing necklaces, but that's a bit harder to spot than rings, you know, because you can wear them under your clothes and.
Yeah, I know. I guess we'll find out soon.
Look, I just thought I should inform you as soon as possible that they're back, but then I didn't know when you would come back, so I kind of crashed here for the last 3 days. I think I should go back to keep looking into that entrance and come get you as soon as I found it.
Yeah, that would be useful actually.
Are you planning
Like,
on taking him on again, the Thieves Guild?
Considering what they did to my friends in Angelos, I can't like leave Nox to his devices. Like, and also like he probably has a link to. Does he know Vars? I don't think he does.
Not personal, but like
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
heard stories through you from him. Timon has.
So yeah, and he probably has a like Ezekiel. He probably has a way to communicate with the one above him.
That makes sense. Last time you noticed that magic was imbued to Ezekiel's ring, so.
Yeah. So it would be useful to just have more information and like yeah.
So
Like if
Right.
I'm just a bit afraid if I start snooping around in Legolas, he'll be gone again. So
Yeah,
and I know
that's.
you're better at sneaking around than me.
Well, it's kind of easier to sneak around if you can just be a bird watching people. They don't tend to like think that you're a spy when you're just a bird sitting on a roof. There was one of the goons that told like the others that he thought this raven was following him. I was like looking like me at that moment, like hiding as a beggar. And they all thought he was crazy, which was kind of funny, because, I mean, it was true, because I was following him.
Zart,
Yes.
can you promise me one thing? If
Sure.
you get the news that he has found Nox or the entrance or anything, don't go at it alone.
Edwig, you are not in this room for all this. Like, you're reading and writing that letter.
Considering
Is
that
Nurgle
he
with you or
hired
with the group?
stronger goons or found stronger
Nurgle
goons,
is
I'm
at this
not
moment.
as stupid to just head in alone.
Okay.
So can you repeat that, Edwig? Where's Nurgle?
Whatever Nurgle feels like being, so he's not
Okay.
listening in for me or anything.
Okay. Good. Right, I'll head out then again. I hope to inform you soon.
Is it now the morning, the evening, the
It's
midday?
noon. It's noon. It was 2.5 days travel, so you arrived at noon. Right. Let's make a deal. If you haven't heard from me in a month, then something has happened. Okay?
Okay. Please do be careful.
Of course, I plan to be careful, but like, if I'm caught, you know, I want you to know that I'm caught. But if it just takes long, I don't want you to worry. So a month should be fine, right?
Okay, a month, sure.
Gives me time to operate.
I'll be waiting for your response.
Well, it'll probably be me coming to tell you, because I mean I can fly as a raven, so like I'm kind of faster than sending a messenger bird, you know. Well, unless you're not here, then it's a bit annoying. Right, I'll head out.
We should be here for quite some time now. We have to prepare for a guest.
Oh, all right. As he walks to the door and transforms into a raven and flies out. Around that time, Edwig would be done with his writing a letter, and as the raven flies out, a owl flies alongside him.
Oh, these two are gonna be friends.
Nurgle just sort of steps onto your shoulder or lands on your shoulder and is like, meow.
Yeah.
Actually, as Nurgle enters that room with you, he's like, "Oh, the orb is here."
My eyes go white.
All right. So, how are you guys situated actually in the room?
Be entering through this door more than likely.
Yeah,
I'd
so Nurgle
probably
is with you
be
there.
Here somewhere.
Position your tokens correctly, because if you're further enough apart, Edwig might know who was being looked at right now. Which is why I'm asking. So, Olin, where's your token?
Yeah, both here.
Okay. So, as you enter, you get told that the orb is there, and right as you enter, it disappears. But you did notice that it was located there. So this time, it was either Elsin or Zart that was being watched.
I switch back to my
I'm
normal
done.
eyesight. So it's following one of you two, I'm gonna assume for the time being. I'll have Nurgle keep watch with each and every one of you for a while, if you don't mind. Like, for
No
a day or
problem.
three per person.
No problem.
Because I would like to know who the target of this scrying is.
Okay.
As you say that, during who the target, you hear that the orb is back. This time, above you.
Wait, hang
I
on.
call Nurgle back to sit on my shoulders, my eyes go white again, and I just look up.
As you hear the voice of Alyssa, I think it is, right? Lady Alyssa, in your head, Edwig. Good, you arrived.
I just sort of glare at the orb, with Nurgle sitting on top of my head, sort of guiding me.
Wait, Edwig, where are you going?
I'm not going anywhere. I'm just standing there, glaring up in the
Yeah,
air.
but
and
what
I
are you
reply-
looking at? What are you looking? What the hell is going on?
I just replied to Alyssa. So I'm guessing that this scrying orb above me is you.
You hear again in Lady Alyssa's voice. Yes.
We'll talk in a bit. And I switch back to my own eyes and I say to the group, Alyssa wants to see us.
What happened?
She's also scrying on us, like... good.
So there are too many people scrying on us, or what? Oh my god.
One of these days I'm gonna be taking a dump and one of these orbs will appear above my head.
Yeah, could be.
I mean, nothing tells you that this wasn't Alyssa before. You just know that this time you heard her voice speak to you.
This was Alyssa, which is why I'm gonna talk to her. Is like, was that just you, or was it you all along, like, every single time?
I think they have been checking in on us, yeah?
Like, is the orb still there?
It's there. For a
Counter
bit,
spell.
and it's gone.
Yeah, I think they have been checking in on us from time to time. No?
Checking in is one thing. Constantly observing is not just an invasion of privacy, it's just downright creepy. He says and starts walking out of the room again.
Where are you going?
To talk to Alyssa about her scrying habits.
I will join Edwig just because, like, if she wasn't the first, like, if she wasn't the first one scrying as well, then I want her to send a sending to him that he has to be careful that our conversation could have been leaked.
From it being there when Edwig entered, which was just after he left, yeah, the one that was crying on you would have heard that conversation that you just had with Timon.
Yeah, but still, like, if it's Alyssa, sure, no problem. But I have to ask her as well, like, just to be sure.
Alright, so do you all head to Lady Alyssa for this?
Nah.
Good.
I will say we have to pick up there then next time, because it is 9:05.
I think Elson will stay at the home, just packing out his stuff for once, not caring about anything, not having just
Alright.
some time for...
So don't forget to send me your updated character sheets for those who haven't done that yet. Sorry for the pauses. I'm just like making notes to not forget about some stuff.
Did Cass already make it home? The backseat of the shop.
Oh yeah, he's
Percival.
been home for a while. Yeah.
Percival, right.
But
Double R,
yeah.
or triple R.
So the game is over for now. If
One
you wanna
question: what day is
talk a bit more.
today?
Saturday,
Yeah, but the day, the actual day,
25th.
25th of April.
No, March.
So basically, you have 2 weeks to like exactly next 2 weeks from now. Saturday is the full moon.
Yeah, but
You
it's
can
for the month.
click the-
It's for the
March.
Yeah, it's March. If you go on like the first, like on the person looking icon on the top in the left, right? There's a calendar looking thing, and if you click on that, you actually get to see the calendar of this world.